feel me? Hey, man. We back with another one. This is a special one for me. A guy ever since I met, man, he's been a great, genuine, humble, hard-working, dedicated guy. I ain't gonna lie, man. You know, ever since I met him as well, man, he done became one of my best friends.
Hey, man.
Along the way, business and personal side.
Hey, man.
I want to bring to the show my guy, Brandon Dawson.
Let's go. Happy to be here, my friends.
What's up, brother?
Doing chilling, man. Happy to be here on the Straight Facts podcast. Finally.
Let's get it.
The roles are reversed.
Facts. So we want to try something different, man. We want to put you on the other side of the mic.
Let's go.
You done invited me on, shout out WJBF6. You invited me on there twice. Great people, great hospitality.
We'll have you back again.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. You know, we locked in. So now it's time to bring you on Straight Facts podcast.
Let's go.
So let's get to it, bro.
Let's go.
Like I do all my guests and stuff like that, I want to get an introduction. Talk a little bit about where you came from.
All right, man. So I'm Brandon Dawson. Came up in Syracuse, New York. For those of you guys who don't know, that's not the city. That's more of there is a city, but it's more of the wooded part of New York. At least that's where I lived. I lived on the outskirts. But yeah, lived there, grew up there most of my life. We were at 13 years old. Mom got a job coming down to Georgia.
Okay.
Big culture shock. Came down here.
Okay.
Went to high school down here. Came up and yeah, man, that was basically where I came from. I lived in Athens for a good portion of it. We lived in Athens for a little bit. Then when I graduated, I was in Marietta.
Okay.
Marietta to Atlanta.
For sure, facts.
Then we ended up in Augusta because I was looking for school.
Okay.
I was looking for school. I was a freelance photographer. I couldn't get no work, so everybody was like, "You need a degree," and I was like, "Well, Augusta University happened to have a good film program, and I was like, we're gonna go in and try to do that."
Okay, so we're gonna slow down a little bit. We're gonna start over and talk about your humble beginnings.
Yeah.
So, how was that transformation coming from Syracuse, New York, to Athens, Georgia? Like, how old were you?
I was about 13.
13.
Yeah.
So, teenager years. You know what I'm saying? You know, you probably got a lot of friends and stuff like that. So, talk about that transformation from New York to Georgia.
Well, it was very different for me, and anybody knows, when you move from one place, and you're kind of building yourself up as a young adult, and then you come somewhere else and you got to start over. It's tough. And anybody who's gone from the north to the south or vice versa knows there's a little bit of culture shock. Had to do a lot of learning with some of the kids. Like, everybody was like, "Why do you talk so weird?" And I was like, "That's just what we talk like up in Syracuse. We all sound Canadian." And so it was a little bit of a learning curve. I had a bunch of people who were real nice to me. I had some people who were not nice to me. You had a couple experiences.
Yeah,
a couple of experiences.
You had to let them know, like, okay, I'm cool, but
I'm cool, but don't mess with me like
exactly.
that. Yeah, but over time, we all kind of gained respect over each other, and it was a learning curve, but we made it.
For sure, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Man. Okay, so when you first came down here, well, let's talk about some of your siblings. You got siblings?
I do. I have 2 younger sisters. Okay. Ash and Bianca, those are my girls. Those are my that's my heart right there.
For sure.
My parents, they both had to work, they had to both work to take care of us. I had to help out a lot, as they were coming up. So a lot of times, I joke with people, I'll be like, those are my 2 kids.
Yeah, you had 2 kids.
I'm like, those are my 2 kids right there. And I will, if they need something right now, if they called me up right now, I'd leave this interview.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's how it's supposed to be.
Down there.
That's how it's supposed to be. The oldest.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah. I have an older half sister. She passed away a couple years ago, but she's with us in spirit.
Facts.
But yeah, in my family, I'm the oldest. All my family, we're all tight. We all look out for each other and take care of things. Man.
Oh yeah, man, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about some of your school experience as you came down. So you started off in Athens going to school?
I was in Athens, for high school. Okay. And then in college, that was years later because I was a non-traditional student. I didn't go right away.
So you didn't go right away after high school graduation. So talk about that in between time. What was going on with Brandon Dawson?
So when I got done with high school, just college wasn't really on my mind or anything like that. I was a pretty chill guy, man. I was working a Blockbuster Video.
Facts.
We were slinging movies.
Dang, we ain't gonna tell your age a little bit, even though Blockbuster is a throwback. Blockbuster is a throwback now for y'all don't know about it. Some of the younger generation, y'all go look up Blockbuster. That's one of the favorite movie things. We used to go out there and sometimes you could be a date, like go out there, grab your movie, popcorn.
That was the
Go back
thing.
to the crib.
That was the thing. But yeah,
Okay.
I worked there for like 8 years, and I was just
Wow.
fine with it. I was a manager, and I went from there, and then when we moved to Marietta, I was working at Blockbuster up there too, and I was a manager. We at the time making decent money, so I was just chilling.
So talk about like what was the main thing you learned from Blockbuster, like working there?
Patience,
Mm.
patience, and because I've always been, I'm a very chill guy. Like, I try to, like, keep it chill and, like, but as anybody who works retail knows, people are going to have their day and they're going to be mad about something. And
Okay.
I always just had it in my head, like, I was never going to make it personal, because I don't know what's going on in your life. If you come in and you're yelling about a $62 late fee, someone are going to be like, why are they yelling at me like that? But I'm like, I don't know what's going on with you. $62 is a lot, so let me take a look into it. If it's our fault, it's gone. Even if it is our fault, we might take care of it because, everybody's just human. Everybody's out here trying to make it. So I always like to think that in my time there, I learned you have to deal with so many different people that you're just like, okay, like, regardless of what you have going on, I'm going to get it taken care of. And that's like what I take that with me everywhere.
Wow, you're right, because retailing, man, you deal with all type of walks of life and stuff like that. But you learn to get inside other people's minds and stuff and know what they, or try to, try to not resemble, but kind of experience what they going through.
Yeah.
Even though we could never experience what everybody go through, but, try to at least try.
Exactly.
So, okay, so shout out to Blockbuster, give you that first love.
Yeah, man, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think there's one left.
Okay, man, so we're going to speed up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so after high school, you said you ended up working. So after the workforce, like how long after that did you try to go to college?
So I was a freelance photographer. I was always into cameras growing up, right? So that was like my big thing. And so like eventually, on the side from Blockbuster, we were making all these little side movies, man,
Okay.
right? We were big YouTubers when YouTube was first coming up. And so we were doing all this stuff. But I wanted to get gigs. I wanted to get paid good money to do it, but a lot of the places in Atlanta, I would go up there and I'd be like, hey, I'm this photographer, I could do this, and they'd be like, where's your degree at? And I'm like, I don't have one. And they're like, all right, and that was just the job application. You look on the job application and it's like bachelor's and thing. Didn't have it each time, but I was still shooting my shot. So I was sitting down and I was talking to my mom about it, and because my mom, she was big into that stuff, and she was looking around for colleges for me, and like she took me on a tour of Augusta University, and they were showing us stuff, and they were showing some of the stuff that the other kids do, and she'll tell this story better than I can. But I looked at one of the videos that the kids did, and I looked at her as the presentation was going on, and I was like, I could do that. And she was like, she could tell, she see like a light in my eyes. She was like, oh, he gets it. So she helped me get into that because, going to school at at the time 26, going to school at the time, you're like, okay, like I need to, it's different. You have to get your own money. There's no Hope Scholarship because you're not coming out of high school. You have to get it all taken care of yourself. So she helped me, figure out how to get, loans and stuff like that to get it done. And we got in there, and I was so serious. I was different in high school.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. In high school, I was I was more concerned about my social life.
Okay.
Because grades were. Some people look at me and they're like, "Oh man, I bet you're a straight A student." That was not the case.
Oh, for real?
Oh, no.
Wow.
No. Now in college, I was a lot better, but I was an adult. And I just understood it better, and I wasn't there to really play around. I treated it like a job.
You was focused.
And when I treat something like a job, I'm always going to shine. But at the time in high school, it was more of just like, this is the place that I go during the day. And I knew the bare minimum I needed to get out, and I was like, all right, we'll do that and we'll be done, and that was it. But I wish I could go back and do things different, but that's, it
the way you at now, though.
Exactly.
That happened for a reason.
Exactly. Everything's happened for a reason.
Okay, so what did you major in college?
It was communications, television, and cinema. So all movies, we had all these different production classes. You had to make a movie to graduate. I did a documentary about wrestling.
Oh yeah?
I'm big into wrestling.
Oh yeah, okay. So who particular did you talk about, or just the whole wrestling movement?
So as I was coming up, and I was working side gigs here in Augusta. I actually worked the indie wrestling scene a lot, and I was filming for all these little independent wrestling shows. And there were two guys. One guy named Jacoby Boykins, the Alabama ambassador. Shout out to him right now.
You sound familiar.
And my other guy, you probably know him, my other guy, Antron Brewer. He's from Thompson. And so I did a documentary about the two of them.
Okay.
And it was like, just like, you know, their life, you know, Jacoby, you know, he's like a guy, you know, he had like a military background and, you know, he was kind of doing this stuff, you know, and I was showing like his life, you know, balancing, you know, taking care of his kids and doing all that. And Antron, you know, he's a fireman. His character was the fireman.
Wow.
And he was out there, you know, doing his thing. And so, yeah, I just did like a whole nice little story on them. Very well received. I graduated from it, you know, so that was good. But yeah, that was like my first like thing that I kind of like really put together that like I was like very proud of that.
Okay,
yeah.
That's dope, man.
Yeah,
So,
man.
because I was gonna ask you like my next question, what first wanted you to get into journalism? So, how long after that did you want to get into journalism, and what inspired you to get into it?
So journalism, honestly, was on accident. Sometimes God leads you in different directions, and like sometimes you're there and like you don't know. Because when I first got into, you know, how I got into working at WJBF was it was an internship. My friend Philip Stanley, he had a job that he was going to do for them, filming football for them, right?
Okay.
He couldn't do it. He had something come up and he was like double booked, and he was like, but he's like, I got a guy who would be very interested in doing it. So I go there just as a temp. I'm thinking I'm going to be there for like, you know, a few months for the football season. I'll be done with it, and then I'll go back to what I'm doing. But I fell in love with live production. Like, I was out there on the football field. I was running around with the reporter, you know, getting their shots with that stuff. And I was like, I went up to the guy, my work dad, Scott Elledge, shout out to him. And I was like, man, you guys got to put me on this. Like, and they didn't have any spots that year.
For real?
So, but I came back next year.
Wow.
I came back next year, and I was like back on it again. And I was just like, let's do this.
So
like,
you showed a good impression for the first time for them to bring you back.
Yeah, exactly. And so I came back the second time. I was doing more stuff, and then he eventually was like, all right, we'll bring you on full time. Now, the journalism thing, again, when I first started in news, I was a tech. You know, I was doing camera stuff, directing, which is pushing all the buttons. I was doing editing, a lot of that stuff. But I always had a personality. You know, I was big into theater growing up. I did some comedy shows here in Augusta for a while. Did a lot of improv. And so everybody in the station knew I kind of had a personality. But, you know, that was that. He's the funny camera guy. But the way it all happened, again, God put you in certain places, is that we were on the way to Atlanta. And it was me, a reporter that I was with, and another guy who was supposed to be doing it. And they were supposed to be testing out the new ride at Six Flags. Now, the second guy got sick, couldn't do it. He was like, I can't be on camera today. And so like I get all my gear and I go in there, and you know, it's me and the other guy, Wes, and Six Flags, they have everything so set up. They have drones, they have all this stuff on the rides. And so they're like, oh, we don't even know why you brought your camera. You're not even needed. And they were like, but it is weird to just have him sitting there on his own, so why don't you just jump on there too? And so I thought that I was just going to be on there just sitting around, you know, hanging out. And as the whole thing starts up, you know, they go live. You know, we're live back at the station, you know, and they're talking about it. And Wes is doing his thing. And he just tosses it to me. And I was like,
wow.
And I just started going, though. And I was like, you know, we're out here at the biggest pendulum swinging ride here in the Southeast. We're doing our thing. And all this energy that I had. And I put it out there. I got back to the station that day. And Scott Elledge, he pulled me into his office and he said, we need to think about what you're doing here at the station. And so from there, I was like a reporter, like literally like maybe a month later.
Wow.
And it was crazy. I still like, as it was happening, I was like, I don't know what's going on. It was like a movie.
yeah. Living the dream.
Yeah, and so, yeah, that's what started
it. That's tough, man. And a lot of stories start off like that. Like nothing, some things fall in your lap. God works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love that. So, what point was it, though, that you seen that you could make this something long-term for your career?
Man, so I'd been working, you know, and doing, you know, camera stuff for a while. And then I was reporting, and I was doing the reporting stuff for a while. And right after COVID, I saw a big need for people to, like, they had all these businesses and people were needing, like, more, like, advertisement. Got really, because people were just kind of opening back up. Yep. And people were like, oh, man, we need, like, to let people know that we're back or da-da-da, whatever. So I got this idea for a road trip show. And I was like, man, like, how cool would it be if, you know, somebody rode around and, like, you know, did this and, like, talked about different businesses and, really elevated them and did that. I was like, that would be awesome. And my wife, our whole thing too was we would travel too. We'd travel to different areas. If we'll do day trips, all day, around the CSRA. And she was always telling me, because I would always end up talking to people when we'd go places. I'd always go in there and I'd be like, what's the one thing you feel like I have to have before I go? And they'll be like, oh, this. And she's like, that's what your show should be.
That's fire.
So as soon as the moment opened up, I was like, because, they started looking they were like, oh, we have a 12:30 spot open for a show. And I was like, I'm going to shoot a pilot for it. Not thinking anything would ever come of it. I was like, I'll just do it. Shoot your shot.
You never know.
Yeah. And so I made the whole pilot of it. And, me and 2 other guys, we went out to McCormick, South Carolina, went to 3 different places, talked about their businesses, put this whole thing together, and I just gave it to them.
Wow.
And it's one of those things where you give it to them. I didn't hear anything about it for maybe like a month.
Ooh.
And then all of a sudden, like, I was sitting in my edit bay one day and my boss comes in and he's like, hey, we're going to do that show. And I was like, what?
Wow. That's hard.
Yeah.
For real.
I was like, what's going on now?
So that was a happy day for you.
I was crying on the outside, man. I stepped outside. It was like a big, it was a big moment, man.
It was. So at that point in time, that's something you could see yourself doing long term.
Yeah. And that's where I was like, man, I think we could do something with this. I think we got legs. Cause I was always kind of being like, man, like, what do I do next after this? Like, what am I supposed to do? But when that happened, I was like, oh man, I'm like, this is what I'm doing.
Thanks.
Like, is this
Thanks.
like, and again, like, it just happened.
Yeah, that's crazy too, man.
Yeah.
I love it because you definitely try to help the businesses after COVID pop back out, put a spotlight on them, and now you're here today.
Yeah.
Raising some of these businesses. I'm pretty sure you brought a lot of money and stuff into them as well.
Yeah, man, we get calls all the time, people thanking us, and, because again, we just come out there, we always put a lot of positive energy in there. There's a lot of negative stuff out there. That's just not me. Like, I couldn't even fake it if I tried.
Never been.
A lot of people always ask me, they're like, oh man, because I'll do a lot of food stuff, and they're like, oh man, did you really have a good time to do that? And I'm like, yeah, because I generally have a good time anywhere I go. If you come and hang out with me outside of this, high energy everywhere I go.
You look for the good in things.
Yeah, I don't fuss really about too many things, but that's just how I am.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's we're blessed to be able to do it, blessed to be able to talk to so many people. Everybody's got these awesome stories, man. Any business you go into, there's a story behind it, and I get to talk to them about it, so it's cool.
I love it, man. All right, so let's talk about some of the mentors, right, when you first started out at the news company. Who are some of the mentors that helped you come along the way?
Oh man, just about any of the main anchors. Brad Means, Jenny Montgomery, both very absolutely amazing and sweet people. Mary Morrison, and Barkley Bishop, who just left us, but that's my work sis.
Okay.
They always treated me with a lot of respect and always, they were the types of one who would help you. I can remember Jenny Montgomery came to me one day, and when I first started doing reporting, again, I'm not a traditional journalist, right?
Facts.
They took a real shot on me doing reporting, right? And Jenny comes up to me and she's like, hey, like, I want to talk to you about your tracking voice, because I'm out here at first sounding, if you go back and listen to some of my earlier stuff, I sound like Bugs Bunny. I sound like a cartoon character, because all I was doing was mimicking what I thought
it's supposed to sound like.
Yeah, a news person was supposed to sound like. And she was like, no. Just be you. And she sat back there with me and kind of I went through it, and I'll never forget that moment, because it truly changed my career. And all of a sudden I was like, I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to be Brandon. We're just going to go out here and talk. But all of them, there's some people, who are managers who, always believed in me too. Carter Murphy, Bill Stewart, they were always very, very just anything that I wanted to do,
for sure.
Get very positive stuff. So yeah, I love my WJB. When you stay somewhere for 10 years, it's either because you feel like you got nowhere else to go, or it's because you love it. And it definitely, for me, it's because I love it there. I love the people there. Just really nice environment over there. Big shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. And I love the way y'all been family over the years and stuff like that, and I can tell a lot of the things are genuine.
Yeah.
So shout out WJB up, man. All right, so let's talk about social media,
Yeah.
the pros and cons of social media,
Yeah.
and the impact that it has on journalism nowadays and the news station.
So I would say that social media, especially if you're a business, it is kind of everything. You really have not only do you have to kind of watch out what you're doing. Number one, you have to put your stuff out there.
Facts.
You got to put your stuff out there, and you have to. It's so important.
It is.
If you are doing something. And let's say if I come do an interview with you, right, and I do it, and then you don't share it, then I'm like, whoa, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Facts.
You have to put. And so for me personally, and if you follow me on social media, I would tell anybody to do this. I share everybody's stuff. I share your stuff.
Facts.
I share business stuff. If you've messed with me, I am sharing your stuff when I see it. You know, sometimes you might miss some stuff, but you know, when I'm on there, if I see it, I'm sharing it. That helps everybody, and so you can't be mad if you sit there and you don't do it, and then
nothing changes.
Yeah.
When you do interviews and stuff with people, you have to share it, promote it, all that, along with the guy who interviewed you.
It helps you because again, like once you put it out there, your people see it and then they share it.
Exactly.
Then like it's like the way the algorithm works. The more you do, the more. So I tell everybody, I'm like, don't kind of sit there and expect things to happen. Like you just want to sit there and just be like, I'm just waiting to go viral. Like. Share people's stuff. Because the second you share someone else's stuff, they're gonna follow your page. Like they'll be like, that person shares my stuff all the time. I'm gonna go there. I'm sharing their content.
And then they put their people on you, like you know what I'm saying. So you're right. You're right. So that's something you learn about social media with the algorithm and things like that. It's consistency.
It's consistency and just doing it. Because if you don't do it, then again, like you
hurt yourself.
Yeah, you might get lucky. Again, some people I know they don't mess with social media at all and they do it, but like I mean, it really is nowadays. There's like so many people that like you could do so much with it and get your word out there. You can tell people like exactly what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish. And like when I see with restaurants, when I see your stuff out there and I see that food, and I'm like, ooh, I want to come out there. I'm trying to come out there and see that.
Feel me? Facts. But like you said. The more you share it, like you might ain't see it the first 2 days.
Yeah.
That third day they shared it, it came across Brandon Dawson's timeline.
And even if you like, sometimes people they overthink stuff because they'll be like, "Oh man, I shared this and it didn't get any likes," and I'm like, "Look, I share stuff all the time, but if I could tell you the amount of times that someone has come up to me and been like, they'll just scroll by and they'll just see it, they don't like it, they're just like, ooh, like."
Exactly. And they'll tell you in real life, "Oh, I seen your thing," but you might not see them in your likes.
Exactly.
They seen it though.
Exactly. So don't worry about the likes. Don't worry about the stuff. Just like put your stuff out there, and like it kind of just happens.
Facts,
like
exactly. Yeah. So social media plays a big impact.
Yeah.
So all right. So what's the biggest thing that the public misunderstands about journalism?
I think for me personally, I think that people think that there's a lot of objectives sometimes in the media. And a lot of times we're just regular people. I think that like a lot of times like people think that like, oh, like there's like this like big overarching thing. Not really that, man. We're all just people just like everybody else. Like people be asking me like, oh man, how do you figure out this stuff? Like, how do you figure out where you're gonna go? Do I need to do this? And I'm like, honestly, the first step is just reaching out. The bed, like you reach out to me, like, and I can't even guarantee you that I'm going to get to you in a month, 2 months, whatever. But I'm like, if you stay connected with me, there will come a time that I'm going to be like, hey, I need to do this, or I'm in this area and I need to do this.
Exactly.
Let me know and I'm going to go do this. So like, sometimes people I think have a lot of things built up in their head. I'm like, I don't think it's really that. Like, I can't really speak into like a lot of the other things as far as some of the people. But again, just know that like the people behind the camera are just regular people like anybody else, and they're just like you said.
Exactly, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and so that's why you said don't be nervous or something about reaching out to these people. Asking questions and stuff like that, because you've never been a gatekeeper.
Or thinking that like if you reach out to somebody, maybe they don't respond to you, thinking like, oh well, I guess they don't want to do it. I'm like, no, like that's not the case. Like again, just like if you were sitting around and like maybe somebody called you and you missed a call and you're like, oh, I need to get back to them. It just happens.
You got family, you got personal things going on. So,
exactly.
I love that you went over that so people can know they can reach out to you. All right, so what do you think is the biggest difference between today's journalism and back then?
Man, like back in the day, because I wasn't a big news guy back in the day. I came into it, again, it was 10 years ago, and again, when I tell you, I didn't even really watch the news that much growing up. Like my dad would watch it all the time, but like I was just watching.
It was boring.
I was watching movies and playing video game. I'm a big gamer, y'all. I'm a big gamer.
For real.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you too before we finish that. I meant to ask you when we first started because this episode 84.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you like how important is the number 84 to you?
84 is my number.
You feel me? 84
is my number. If you guys catch your boy in the street playing Madden or 2K, it's number 84 all day.
Randy Moss.
Yeah, you mentioned to me that it was number 84, and I got immediately excited about it because like anything, like when I was coming up, I was always number 84. I was 84, and if somebody on the team didn't do it, it was 13. But 84 was the number. So I'm big into that. I'm very excited that.
Episode 84. And I'm big on numbers too. Like the older I got, I started to get, a little closer to God.
Yeah.
So numbers, signs, all type of things
Yeah.
are important. So when you talked about number 84, it meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't planned.
Yeah.
None of this was planned for you to be on episode 84, but it just fell down.
No.
But why is 84 so important to you?
Man, 84 is important to me. It'll be showing my age.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. We talked about Blockbuster already.
Yeah, talking about age. So it was the year I was born. So I was, I always kind of, it just happened.
Means a lot to you.
You're sitting there. Well, it just is, it's one of those things that just kind of sticks with you over time, right? Because you're sitting there and you're like, man, I'm coming up, and when I started playing video games, and you're like, oh, what number are you? And you get to put it on the jersey, and I was like, I'll just do 84. You just keep doing it.
Exactly.
Keep doing it. And so eventually that number again, anytime if I'm doing a thing where somebody's making me a jersey, put 84 on the back,
off top.
And so it was just one of those things that I was like, man, it just stayed with me. So when you told me it was 84, I was like, just destiny.
You feel me? That's what I'm big on too, destiny and manifestation and stuff like that. All right, so I got a few more questions for you, man. All right, so we want to talk a little bit personal stuff.
Yeah.
How important is fatherhood to you? And also, how hard it is balancing fatherhood and your career?
Man, so I'm an old dad. So to some people, it's I feel like I'm gonna tell this to anybody right now. Have your kids whenever you're gonna have them. There's no real age set for it. Some people are gonna have them young, some people are gonna have them in your 30s, some in your 40s. I know somebody who just had his first kid. He's like 56.
Wow.
Yeah, but it just happened. Whenever it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Facts.
Fatherhood is everything for me because coming up, coming up, I didn't really know where I was going to land. I didn't really know what I was going to do, and I didn't know if I was ever going to be a dad. And when my wife got pregnant, it was like I was like, oh man, this is crazy. Like I was excited, nervous. But man, the second he came out, and the second I saw him, because and I got to really spend time with him first. My wife, she's passed out from the whole thing ever happened, so I didn't see him first. But I was like, it's like my whole perspective on everything changed, and I was like, man, this dude now is everything to me, and so I put everything into him now, and I get to go out with him, we have a thing right now, we call it Fresh Boy Tuesdays, because we always joke, me and my boy are the Fresh Boys. We always dress alike. We dress alike. We go out. Every Tuesday we go out and we do something. We were at Dave and Buster's just a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And we always do gives mommy some rest time, some mental health stuff.
Speaking of mental health, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no problem.
Because I want to talk a little bit about women when they have kids and stuff and the postpartum experiences that they deal with. Talk a little bit about what you experienced with your wife.
So, my wife's the best. I'm gonna put that out there right now. She handles everything like a boss. If she was dealing with it, I wouldn't have known because she's my rock, man. I mean, it was one of those things that I knew about it. And so I always wanted to make sure that, to this day, I always want to make sure that she gets her relaxed time, that she gets her time to herself, and that she is not overwhelmed by anything. She's at home with the baby every day, and I'm out at work. And so, when I get home, I want to, what do you need? Do you need to take some time to yourself? Do you need to do this? Do you need to, take a vacation? Yeah. If you need to take a little 2-day trip to Savannah with the homegirls, go do it. And I put that out for her all the time. Like I always say, millennial dads, we're different than the
old schools.
Yeah, the old schools. Yeah, because we're locked in.
Yeah,
y'all. Some guys they'll joke with me and they'll be like, "Man, I went through all of that and I didn't change a diaper not once." I'm like, "Bro, I'm in it."
What?
I'm not playing.
In that. I want to experience all that.
Yeah. I'm trying to be.
Facts.
I'm trying to be locked in, and I'm trying to do all this stuff. So. She's a great woman. I'll talk about her all day. She's another part, and we haven't touched on it that much, but she's another thing that has really driven me to be successful because as a lot of this stuff was happening and I would start to be like, man, I'm thinking about doing this or doing whatever. She was always like, do it. You're gonna do great, and that's my number one supporter right there.
She's been right there since day one.
Day one, yeah.
And what's your son's name again?
Corbin.
Yeah,
young Corby.
Let's get it, man.
At the house right now, hanging out, probably causing trouble. But
you feel me? Shout out to Corbin, man, for making your pops happy
man,
and stuff like that. And this is just the beginning, man.
Yeah. I know, man. He's a good kid. Can't wait to see what he does.
For sure.
And yeah, man, I'm just there for him on anything that he needs.
Got a bright future.
Yeah.
All right, so I got 2 more for you.
Yeah, man.
All right, so what type of pre-show rituals that you do? Do you believe in any rituals? Any type of good luck stuff?
It's not a good luck thing, but anybody who knows me from theater, TV, anything, just about because here's the thing: as much as I've been on TV and as much as I've done theater, I get a little nervous before everything.
Still,
I will either do one of two things. I'm either sitting somewhere in total silence.
What?
In total, I will just go somewhere and I'll sit down and I'll just kind of like.
Meditate.
Just meditate, think, just clear my thoughts, do, because you got to, whatever, you might have some other stuff going, all that's got to go away.
Life.
Sometimes it's a long nap, just sitting around, just clear, but I'm sitting around and just sitting somewhere. That's my pre-show rituals. I just kind of chill out.
Okay.
Clear my thoughts, and then I can come out there. Because I'm a big improv guy. I don't do no scripts.
I was gonna ask you that.
We don't do no scripts.
Wow.
We just come out here. And
you do though, because when I came on the show, it was like you just
was the prompter on?
Nothing.
No
Papers, nothing. We sat down and you had everything in your brain.
We just go. I tell and they'll ask me stuff. You'll hear me they'll be like, "Do you need this?" Nope. Just let's go.
Facts.
Turn it on.
That's tough.
Yeah, well, it's just what it is, man.
It showed the realness.
It's me. Every time.
Facts.
It's never. There's no scripted stuff. It's Brandon Dawson every time, all the time.
Real talk. And I love that, man.
Yeah,
so shout out to you for being like that. All right, so the last one, do you have any upcoming, talk about your show.
Yeah.
When the season started, is it towards the end of the season? Talk about some of that.
So, we've been doing it. We got 2 shows now. I do Your Hometown Road Trip. It's been on for 2 years now. We're coming to the end of this season on that. And it's, that's my baby. That's the one that I started. Yep. And, but then we got another show that we launched this year too called Your Hometown Kitchen. It's just getting done with its first season. It got it's done very well numbers wise. Wow. It's done real well. And that was, again, that just kind of, I was just sitting around and they were like, "We want to do a cooking show." And I was like, "I don't know nothing about cooking." And they were like, "We just want you to be there." And I was like, eat. Yeah. And I was like, "All right, I can do that."
Facts.
So that's just wrapping up. But, I do a lot of stuff with that too. I book the show. I work with another girl to make sure that, everything's kind of how we want it. So yeah, it's we've been doing that. And then right now, we're getting into the future. And coming up in the future, we just built a whole podcast area at WJBF. So I'm trying to be like you.
Hey, come on, man. Don't do that, man.
I'm trying to be like you. No, okay. I respect people who come out and you guys do these interviews and stuff. So like a couple people at the station now, because a lot of people are doing them now. A couple of people have been doing their stuff on it, and I've been like, man, once I come back, we're about to take our break here coming up. Once I come back, I was like, that's gonna be my next thing. I'm gonna figure out how to do a podcast.
That's fire.
I might pick your brain on that.
Hey, let's do it, man. Came up with a name or something yet?
No.
Okay, so we're still in the works.
We're still.
Let's get it.
It's still in the lab right now. But when it all comes to fruition,
facts.
I'll make sure everybody knows.
Let's do it, man. Hopefully I can come on the show.
Oh yeah.
Keep this thing going and whatnot.
Go.
So again, man, I appreciate you, bro, coming on the show.
Oh man.
Episode 84 with my guy Brandon Dawson.
Go.
One of the biggest staples in the community. Been going at it for 10 plus years, man. So we're gonna keep this thing going in the future. So any questions or anything, y'all can always reach out to him.
Please.
What's your social media?
Guys, you guys can hit me up. You can either go to Brandon Dawson or Brandon Dawson WJBF on Facebook. You can hit me up on Instagram at BDawsonTV. And the one thing I want to say to everybody is, again, just reach out.
You feel me?
If it takes me a second, I'm sorry, but even if it's just shoot me a friend request and sitting on there, I always will put out these posts to be like, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, and we just try to help anybody out when we can, and that's the one thing that I want to put out there to people. So don't be offended if it takes a second, but please reach out. We love you guys. You guys make all this happen.
Exactly, man. So we appreciate y'all. Episode 84. This your boy CYTV with my guy Brandon Dawson. Shout out to WJBF 6. And we out of here. CSRA. Let's get it.
Holla.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was even better.
I know, I told you, bro.
That was better than the first one.
I told you the second one is always better, bro.
Always.
That's why I always tell people, because I'm like, it's coming and you know where the stuff kind of leads to, and you're just like,